We are indebted to Margaret Runitz for these slides and commentary taken from her early days at Wesley Palms slideshow. Welcome to Early Days at Wesley Palms. In June 1958, the Pacific Homes Board, which already operated several retirement communities, decided to build the finest retirement home in America right here in Pacific Beach. This man, M.D. Woodbury, for whom our Woodbury Hall is named, was chosen to find an appropriate site in San Diego to help plan and build this new community. He had served as administrator in 2 different communities, the last being Casa de Mañana, our sister facility in La Jolla. This was Woody's final choice, a 42-acre hillside covered with sagebrush and cut through by several gullies. There was no other housing in the area or even roads. Would you have thought it could be done? The board thought so and bought the land in August 1958. An impressive sign was put up on the property to announce what was going to take place on the hillside. A promotional office was opened on Turquoise Street in North Pacific Beach. The secretary stands at the door. Inside the office, Woody Woodbury interviews prospective residents and shows them the projected plans. By 1960, enough planning had been done to begin work. Since as yet there was no passable road into the 42 acres, the official groundbreaking ceremony was held in Kate Sessions Park, which is due west across the canyon where Soledad Mountain Road is located. Here, Woody is presiding at the ceremony, surrounded by the Pacific Homes Board, prospective and accepted residents, and other community members. Here we see the board member who waved a red flag, which signaled for the workmen at the site to set off a blast of dynamite to begin the grading for the project. We can even see the smoke from the blast. The work has begun. First, a road had to be graded so men and equipment could reach the site. There was no Soledad Mountain Road on this section of Loring Street. Here, we're looking down what will become Soledad Mountain Road with a newly graded Loring Street starting up to the site at the left of the picture. Here a road has been carved out of the future campus. So far, all that looks familiar is the view. By August of 1960, the large bulldozers had begun leveling off the hillside in order to create the various terraced levels where cottages stand today. One of the large pieces of equipment was driven by Royal Buzzboom, husband of one of our current long-term residents, Erna Buzzboom. The gullies were filled with steel girders sunk deep into the ground, so there would be no shifting of land or runoff down the original gullies when it rained. The terraces were smoothed out and sprinkled to pack down the earth. In December of 1960, the steel girders for our main building were in place, reaching for the sky. This is looking at the building from the back. Where is your floor? main building is completed. This photo was taken from the far side of Loring Street. Now the cottages begin to take shape. Can you tell where this is? Supposedly this is D and E section. Doesn't it look bare without any plantings? It took 17 months to complete all the buildings. Yes, the main building and all the cottages were all part of the original construction project. Here's an aerial view looking at the back of the main building. Grass is beginning to show. Here's what the campus looked like in 1973. This is a big jump ahead in time to compare the landscaping. On April 2nd, 1962, a dedication service was held in the parking lot in front of the main building. The podium for the ceremony was placed on the sidewalk in front of the D1 cottage on the west side of the parking lot. The large crowd attending even used the balconies outside the club room and dining room for seating. The state of the landscaping in April of 1962. The B section in November of 1962, after a full summer for the grass to grow. The E and F sections in March 1963. Here is the first welcome sign at the entrance to the main building. The road up to the main building now is more attractive. Notice how tall the Wesley Palms are next to the front of the main building. By 1970, the campus had many lovely plantings. This is the original bus for Wesley Palms, traveling between Pacific Beach and La Jolla as our bus does today. An early picture of the dining room. Notice the various colored chairs. Here's the beginning of the rose garden. We're looking toward the covered walk. The shuffleboard court was a very early activity. Here is the official opening. This was the cart used by housekeeping, driven by the head of housekeeping. This was the next Wesley Palms bus, called the Bluebird. Now for a look around the campus in the 70s. Here is a colorful bank. the coral tree in full bloom. Is bougainvillea. A rose tree. Beautiful. A Tipawana tree in bloom with its yellow blossoms. There are 4 of these huge trees on campus. A beautiful sunset. Night falls over Wesley Palms. Woody Woodbury and his wife, Helen. Not only was Woody instrumental in creating Wesley Palms, he was also our first administrator. After retirement, the Woodburys became members of the community as residents. We residents of today continue to benefit from Woody's expertise and dedication to retirement living. In 1999, Pacific Homes merged with 2 other organizations to become Internext Corporation. Come up our main driveway to Wesley Palms in the 60s and early 70s to see the activities that took place in these days. The typical age of most of the residents entering the community was between 65 and 75. There was no activity director. The residents discovered they needed some kind of organization to plan, finance, and carry out various activities. Thus, the Wesley Palms Club was born, to which all residents belong. Here's the first executive board of club officers. And here is the first Wesley Palms Council, consisting of the chairpersons of the committees that manage the activities. There are 25 heads showing, so they must have been 25 committees. This was in September of 1962. The library was soon opened, containing many donated books. A meditation area was set aside outside in the library patio. Yes, the club soon started a whatnot shop. The Green Thumb Room across the hall from the Whatnot shop was soon in business, turning out lovely arrangements to enhance the appearance of the lobby. This room is now part of the Whatnot shop. Here is an example of one of the Green Thumb creations. There was a craft room, which is now our activity room. Contained a kiln, so all types of pottery were made. There was also a weaving loom and sewing machines. The game room was quickly filled with a pool table, a ping pong table, and an indoor shuffleboard. The hobby shop became a busy place as both men and women repaired or made items for their homes. A large dollhouse was made for visiting children to enjoy, and our revolving Lazy Susans on the tables in the dining room were made here by the residents. Only a few of the Lazy Susans are now being used in our dining room. An early year's holiday decoration was this heritage tree, copied after the first holiday tree ever put up in the White House. In 1963, the holiday cards from residents were put on these two holiday trees. Later, the hobby shop created the card racks that have been in use ever since then. The art gallery exhibits were popular from the very beginning. The Trips and Tours Committee of the club planned many off-campus outings. Here's a baseball game. The residents did all the work since there was no activities director. There were picnics planned, taking place in various parks around San Diego. There was a sewing and needlecraft group that made beautiful things for the hospitals in San Diego. There was also a hard-working group of Red Cross volunteers who helped the Red Cross drive for donations. Here are two residents getting ready to deliver Meals on Wheels in this area. Many participated in folk dancing. Some of the men joined the lawn bowling group in Balboa Park. Of course, they wore their whites as they participated in tournaments. Here is a hat contest for the women. And here is the winner. Is this a top of a wedding cake? Now we come to the 10-kilometer Walk for Humanity. It took place around the perimeter road, probably about 10 times around, and raised $1,500 for medical aid to Mexico and Hong Kong. They're all ready for the starting gun. The crowd slowed down and spread out as the walk proceeded. There were several food stations along the way, manned by the cheering non-walkers. First aid stations were along the way, available for consultation. History has it there were all types of medications available, including aspirin. It was hot, so the walkers had umbrellas. The finish line. Can you tell where this is on the perimeter road? Now we come to the dramatic personnel of the community. Here, scarecrows, clowns, and hobos wait to go on stage. A scarecrow checks herself out in the mirror. Can you see the high-heeled white shoes in the mirror? Three lovely maidens. All three are men, with Woody Woodbury, the first administrator, as the Hawaiian lovely in the middle. At the New Year's Eve party in 1965, we see Baby New Year waiting for the new year to arrive. Scenes from one of the plays. The title, Medical Chaos. Apparently, there's an argument on what to do for the patient. The situation improves. The head nurse arrives. A variety number. Ballerinas doing a Valentine dance. Are these men or women? Here are some lovelies doing the Hawaiian hula. Wesley Palms even had a very good barbershop quartet. Some fabulous sunsets can be seen from the Wesley Palms campus. Our activities end as night comes to Wesley Palms.